You did?
Yeah, ready.
Great. He's going to do something of a mystery to me, but it's titled What's in My Bag.
Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas or holiday over December. I spent some time away from London. I flew to Cancun and traveled overland to San Jose in Costa Rica in 11 days. And so it was good to avoid the winter and fly back to England in a new year. So there's a record shop in America called Amoeba Records. And they got this segment on YouTube where they get musicians to go into the shop, buy things, and then they say, "What's in my bag?" And the artists basically say, "Oh, I bought this CD, I bought this book, because of the way this album has influenced me." So let's begin. Hi, my name is Overland Metalhead, aka Martin Anthony, and this is What's in My Bag. Heart, Strange Nights. Back in 2007, I discovered this band, Heart, thanks to iTunes. The reason being I was feeling a bit empty after sweeping away Bloody Living Genre albums thanks to my mother's advice and importing a lot of heavy metal. But then the music of Ann and Nancy Wilson really influenced me in a tough time, especially in a really bad job. I told myself, okay, one day I'm going to see these Wilson sisters anywhere in the world. They may not go to Australia, but I'm going to travel to see them. So I traveled to Phoenix, Arizona in May 2010, and I saw them live. I shook hands with Ann and Nancy Wilson after the gig. I'm standing with my hand out, and Ann grabs my hand and shake it, and then Nancy grabs my hand and I shake it, and I just couldn't stop shaking, just like the time I met Jeff Tate. So the last thing I did in Australia was drive around sitting with my mum, listening to Heart albums. And my mom's like, "Oh, Marty, she's just screaming right now, it's just yelling." And I said, "Oh, now she's singing good." So Heart was one of the best non-metal concerts I ever went to. Living in John couldn't even beat this, not even bloody Kylie Minogue or any of the non-metal artists I've seen in the last 8 years. The Pretenders. The singles. One day I was working in a cafe in Sydney, and I'm just collecting a few things, and this Russian couple had just left me some change, and so I just couldn't stop singing the Pretenders' Brass in Pocket, because I felt like I was channeling my inner Christy Hine. Now, my cousin in Cambridge is a big fan of the Pretenders, and she's seen them live. I haven't seen the Pretenders yet, so I think I'll start listening to a lot more of the Pretenders. The two guys in the Pretenders who died in the 80s of drugs, they're actually buried a kilometer apart in different cemeteries, so one day I'll go out and vlog them. Scorpions, The Virgin Killer. I became a fan of this German band in 2007, and I told myself, okay, I am going to travel to Germany in 2008 and see this band. I'll even take the Trans-Siberian to get to Germany. My brother, Michael John, he never believed in me. When I came back from America broke in 2010, I told myself, I'm going to see the Scorpions. They're not going to come to Australia. I'm going to go see them in another country. So at the end of 2010, my nephew was born. He gave me some inspiration. I got a job back in hospitality, washing dishes. Every day I'd wash dishes, go home, play some Scorpions while listening to some, drinking some Kahlua and Coke. And then in June 2011, I saw the Scorpions in Hellfest in France. Best German bands, and without these guys, there wouldn't be other German bands to listen to. Mike Oldfield's The Moonlight Show, The Collectives. Now, you may have heard of the movie The Exorcist, but when I was young, I was listening to the song The Exorcist by Possessed, and it starts off with the famous tuba bells, and I'm thinking, what's this sound? Why are they sampling this? And then years later, I feel it's tubular bells. And so I've always wanted to listen to the song in full because I really love long songs that go on for 10 minutes or even 20 minutes. And also Moonlight Shadow, yeah, it's got Mike Oldfield and some lady singing. That song tends to get stuck in your head often. So I'll play this in the car nowadays. Okay, Sandy Denny. I have this discussion every month about going out to Putney Vale Cemetery to visit the grave of Sandy Denny. In 2017, in June, I moved to London, and I was kind of a bit sad after getting bunched out in Birmingham and stuff, and having to deal with a lot of people in this country who don't understand why I'm here, despite the fact they should be reading the British Act in 1983. So one day, instead of working at the bloody Hilton Hotel, I went out to Putney Vale Cemetery and visited the grave of Sandy Denny. And as I'm looking at the grave of Sandy Denny, who sang on Led Zeppelin's Four Symbols, the Ballad Evermore, I said to her, Sandy, I wish you were still alive today. You were born the same year as my mother. But she died at like 31, and she never got the same popularity as Louis and John. So every month I go out to Putney Vale Cemetery to clean the grave of Sandy Denny. I always give her some flowers. And then in the same month of June, I met my Cambridge cousin Leslie, and she's a big Sandy Denny fan. So this is Sandy Denny's fourth and final album. And so Sandy Denny is the inspiration that keeps me staying in London. I had a Mayhem CD somewhere, but it's gone missing. Oh, that's embarrassing. Yeah. Well, basically, it was a Mayhem live CD. This band from Norway, and when I first heard of Mayhem, they had a really big, weird story. The lead singer blew his own brains out in a hut, and then the guitarist he took pieces of his skull and made it into a necklace and sent them to various heavy metal musicians in Norway. And then Euronymous was killed by Varg's Vikings, and then there was church burnings all over Norway. So when I discovered this band, they inspired me that I would go to Norway someday, and that I did 12 months ago. I ended up meeting the bassist Nico Butcher last year, and I told him that I'd been out to visit Dead and Euronymous' grave, and he was very impressed. And I said, well, one day I'd like to be living in Norway. And he says, well, I might be back in England by the time you move to Norway. And one of my main inspirations of all my life, you can either like Peter Gabriel's Genesis, you can like Phil Collins' Genesis, you can like Peter Gabriel solo, or you like Phil Collins solo. I'm more of a Peter Gabriel solo and a Phil Collins Genesis, but when I was 20 years old, Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer music video inspired me to create stop motion movies with Lego. I did that for 2 years, and then I ended up committing career suicide because I had a really hellhole job washing dishes and having no time to make Lego. I mean, I was very popular on YouTube, but I just deleted my YouTube channel 11 years ago, and that was the most baddest thing I've ever done. I still have some of my Lego animation on YouTube, which I've been able to survive. But Peter Gabriel, what he's done in all of his life is inspiring to me. When I listen to Supper's Ready, which is 20 minutes, I can actually hear a bit of Dream Theater inspiration in the 9/8 chapter of that song. And then it was also Peter Gabriel who wrote a song called Biko that opened my eyes about what happened in South Africa in the 70s and 80s with the death of Stephen Biko. And then the movie Cry Freedom, which you should all go out and watch, because it was about a white man in South Africa being friends with a native African man, and how they're able to put aside the difference. But Stephen Biko is killed, and Donald Woods has to flee into exile in London, where he lived until Nelson Mandela was freed. So I recommend you go out and go read Peter Gabriel's book. This is Overland Metalhead, aka Martin Anthony, and this is what's been in my bag. You're welcome.
So good, congratulations.
You're welcome.
That's really, really, really good.
Yeah. Well, it's better than a long 10-minute story.
Yeah, I loved it. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't wait to hear what you've got. Even doing a bit of hair in my mouth.
It's alright, don't tell.
Yeah.
It's all good.
See.